Hey, Kyrie, how you doing? Thank you for coming in. How you been doing? It is still hot in here in California. I think it's still in the hundreds, so I'm just trying to stay cool. I'm feeling lazy, and I know I should get up and do something after this live. Good, glad to hear it. Yeah, I'm doing good though. Yeah, I'm in Cali. I'm in Southern California. And so I know all around people are complaining that it's hot, in Texas. I mean, just all over. And so I'm just trying to, I took a shower to cool myself off and just put my pajamas right back on. it's like, it's like, I am not trying to get dressed and no, I got a head wrap on my head or whatever. Um it just feels better when my hair is up and like that with the head wrap. So I wear that, around the house a lot of times, I just like my hair up. But yeah, hey DOD, how are you doing? Thanks for coming, my brother. I just got on not too long ago. So Kyrie, I don't know if you know DOD. He's real cool, and DOD Kyrie is. I love her channel as well. Um, but I haven't seen you. I know you do lives and everything. I haven't seen you do a live in a while. So yeah, get back to it so I can come and join your live, Kyrie. I'm just trying to take out more time to people I support. I'm just trying to go to their lives more often because that's when you get that real connection, I think. I think you get that real connection on the lives. So yeah, introduce yourself and visit each other's channel, check each other out. So, Kyrie, did you ever get to go on your vacation? Didn't you say you were going to? Oh, good, great. Didn't you say you were going to, what was it, Costa Rica, or do I have you mixed up with someone else? I thought it was you that you was, you were just adamant. And it was before all this quarantine stuff, I think. So, did the quarantine kind of mess you up? Oh, good, good. You say you'll go back and watch one of your videos, Kyrie. Yeah, I thought that was you. Oh, wasn't you? Oh, it was you, but this quarantine messed everything up. Oh, cause if I have to change everything, if my normal is going to change, is going to become a new normal, then that's what it is. I'm not gonna freak out about it. Um, I didn't start it, so I'm going to do some things I like to do. My son-in-law is going to give me a telescope, so I love watching the stars and all that kind of stuff. So I was going to get a new one, and he told me he had one, and he would give it to me. So yeah, I really wish I could have. I used the money towards another bid. Oh, okay. Well, still, you got something done with it, but yeah, I I uh, I I want to get back to doing some traveling, but right now we just can't. But ooh, that sounded like that was gonna be fun. Costa Rica. I know they filmed, those Jurassic Parks, at least a couple of them, movies in Costa Rica. It's just beautiful there. So I would like to go there. I'd like to go back to a lot of places. I'd like to go, instead of going to East Africa, I would love to go to West Africa, and I've never been to Nigeria. I'd like to visit there, but we ain't going nowhere right now. So for a whole month. See, yeah, maybe next year. But see, when you do travel like that, you do yourself an injustice if you just go for a week. That's not enough time to spend. Uh, if you're going someplace in the States and whatever, and you go for a week, yeah, that'll suffice. But to go to another country that you've never been to and you want to explore, no, no, we just won't do it. But a month, oh yeah. See, you can get into some things. You can get into some things. And see, when I travel, no matter where I go, uh, now my hotel is one thing, but a lot of time, a lot of times people make the mistake of just going. Like I made the mistake when I went to a certain place, and I stayed pretty much to around the hotel when I went to the UK. And I wish I had ventured out. And I met someone that she comes in the chat at my, she'll probably come to my live, if she's up because of the time difference in UK. But the way, she talks about certain areas, it's like, okay, if I go again, I know where to go. Okay. And um, I just want to venture out more with like where the real things are happening. You know what I mean? just the real deal. So yeah, so I'm sorry you missed that. That's too bad. That's too bad. Because I was thinking about you. I said, oh man, she's, I hope she took some footage, and when she come back, she gonna be able to, just show us some things. Those of us that have not, gone to Costa Rica. Yeah, yeah. Where you at? Where you at, Dod? You trying to stay in the bushes? uh, So yeah, Kyrie, you gained another subscriber because Dod went and he went to subscribe, so that's good. I avoided those when we went to Cuba. Oh yeah, I don't like the tourist spots. Yeah, I want to go. Yeah, I want to go where the everyday folk go. You know what I mean? Uh, you know, I when I get to my destination, I do have some tours just to kind of get a feel of where I am, and then I'll counsel. I have no qualms in counseling a tour. Oh, okay. You want me to drop the link? Okay, let me do that. Yeah, Kyrie, you can get up here too if you want to. Cause I know you. I don't let people up here that I don't know. It'd be some strange, like Bernie Mac used to say. It be some going zones up in here. Some strange stuff on YouTube. So it's like, nah, I gotta know y'all. But I know you. I know Dod. So to avoid typing, you know, I uh, I don't mind if you guys come on up here. And StreamYard changed. You can have 10 people, up to 10 people. Now, I would never have 10 people. Well, they say never, but I would avoid having 10 people because it can become, it can become confusion. You know it, Kyrie. It's some strange folks on YouTube. So, hey, DOD, what's going on? Hey, Angie G.
Hey Marilyn, how you doing?
I'm good. I'm good. Thank you. Thanks for coming up. You got sick of typing, didn't you? That's okay.
Yeah,
I know you.
but I want to thank you for yesterday when you came over onto my
Oh,
live
you
stream.
you welcome. You welcome. Yeah, I gained a couple of friends over there because I'd seen certain people out and about, and then when I saw them on your channel, I said, "Oh, okay." I felt a little comfortable, like I know somebody besides DOD and one SP. So yeah, it was
Right.
cool. It was cool. It was cool. I liked the conversation.
Yeah. That's what I'm here for. I want to continue that conversation with.
Okay. Oh,
So
okay.
you
Okay.
remember what you typed, right?
I remember. I
Okay.
re- I remember. Okay, now watch it. Kyrie's here and Angie G. So we outnumber you, DOD.
Hey ladies. I will be checking out one of your videos after this live stream ends.
Yeah,
I'll go check you out.
you heard that, Kyrie, right? Oh, Angie, no, no, you don't have to even. If I put that link, you don't even have to you know be join StreamYard to get on the link. Anybody can. You have to just make sure your browser supports. Like I can't do StreamYard on my phone, so I have to go on my laptop if I want to even, get on someone's live. But yeah, it's real easy. Just go to StreamYard.com, and it's real simple. And as long as you don't go over 20 hours a month, it's free. Okay, Kyrie
Now,
says she's gonna return the love.
okay.
Okay,
Now,
okay.
Marilyn, I don't know if you're aware of this or not, and I don't know if it's because it's not the paid version, but we can go live on StreamYards on our phone now.
I saw that, but I didn't want to fool with it. I didn't want
Oh,
to fool with it on my phone. I got other things, and I don't know how much space it takes. And I don't want to be on StreamYard because I don't have a house phone because I never used it, and so I didn't want to get a call or something like that. And I'm on StreamYard, So I just want to kind of say, I just wanted to kind of stay so it'll be my phone.
okay. Yeah, that makes
Yeah.
sense because I do get phone calls too that knock me off, so I understand that.
Yeah, I didn't want that to happen. And I have children and grandchildren, so it's like I'm not, they come first.
Of
I
course.
want to make sure they have the ability to always be able to get in touch with me. So
Yep.
yeah, I'll keep it this way. But thanks. But I saw it, and I said, nah, nah. But go ahead, start it off. I want to see where you're coming from because at first, yesterday, I was saying, now, I think they saying some stuff to kind of, get the conversation more real because they're saying things and nobody is responding. And I was trying to edit some things and do some things. And so I didn't want to use my laptop to get on and join the discussion, but and I didn't want to get too detailed because I was just on my phone, a whole lot of typing and whatever. So I just wrote that little message. Y'all tripping. But you know what? Everybody got their opinion, but I just can't believe. I wish one SP was here. I can't believe some of the things he was saying.
Well, I shared you out, so he may show up. And I want to say hi to Angie in the chat. I'm not sure if I have her yet, but if I don't, I will subscribe to her channel as well. If
Oh,
she does,
good.
if she does, live streams, videos and stuff, I will subscribe.
Yeah, she told
Um,
me, Angie G said that she was going to start the live stream. So she hasn't done any yet. So I'm going to be supporting her in that. But yeah, go ahead. I'm ready for you, DOD. I'm
okay.
ready for you
Well,
guys.
but what, okay, what did you mean by the statement? By what you typed? What did you mean we were tripping?
Well,
You said some of the things that we were typing or saying, you couldn't believe. What we were saying that
you
you didn't?
you guys was making it too broad and too general because I don't know who you guys know, but I don't fool with people like that. I don't, because in fact, that's a big reason why I'm single is because, in my opinion, the guys are so disrespectful, and the guys will, they'll treat other races better than they treat the sisters. And so to me it seemed like, okay, guys, we got to turn this around because a lot of us women are experiencing what you're talking about. And then and see, plus you have to you have to know who you're dealing with. You guys got to know what you're dealing with because there are some women who have um issues because they were not taught. They didn't have they didn't have a example of a mother and father in the home. And a lot of people didn't have fathers in the home, men and women. They didn't have fathers in the home, so they don't have anything to as an example. And I had my mother and father in the home. It was eight of us, and then my mom adopted a little boy, and there were nine of us, and not at one time. Because I have older brothers and sisters, and they're married and whatever, whatever. So I had a father in the home, and I learned a lot of my work ethics from him because my mom stayed home a lot. She could work when she wanted to. And so I find that whether it's a man or woman, a lot of people, period, just didn't have the example of how a relationship should go. And so anytime you or anyone else, I'm just saying you, but not you particularly, uh so well, a woman don't do this and she's done this and this and this the men do the same thing. It just depends on their environment, it depends on what they've been taught, it depends on how they view, and a lot of people don't even have the equipment to be in a relationship with nobody, you know and so it just I just thought you guys was tripping because you would it appears like you guys was laying it all on women, like we want to be disrespected, and that's far from the truth. And those women who want to be disrespected, there's just as many men that want to be disrespected, which I don't have those kind of women in my circle because I can't deal with that kind of energy. I can't, even as a friend, I can't deal with that kind of energy. So it was just it was just too broad of a statement, like and I know the women will come back to your live because that was a good conversation, and we should talk about it, and we should just have more conversations regarding that because a lot of people got it wrong about us women. I prefer to stay single at this point in my life, but this staying single thing has only been the last 5 years. I've had relationships. I've had the best relationship that I have had. He's dead now. And so, of course, there's no going back, but it's like he understood me the best that any person, and I was engaged to him, and I've been married, and he's understood me more than my husband's did. And so he had a particular way of how he lived his life, and it was so similar to how I wanted to live my life that we meshed really good. And the only thing that I would change out of that is I couldn't stand most members of his family. They were troublemakers, instigators. If it, they didn't want us to have a good relationship because they didn't have good relationships. So misery loves company. But Kyrie saying she's 26 and she prefer to stay single too. Yes. I mean, I'm finding more and more women saying they want to be single opposed to the way it used to be that, a woman couldn't wait to be married, and it's like, well, why? If If someone came along and you mesh and whatever, but just to get married for marriage's sake, oh, miss me with that. Just to be married, just to say when I roll over, there's a thigh right there. No, 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 no. I, I, hey Brian, how you doing? It's so nice that you found someone you were connected with. Yes. And I don't think that comes along very often, Kyrie, you guys. I don't think that comes around, and people are just picking people just to be with somebody. Don't do that. I know people are lonesome, but you know what? You can be alone without being lonesome. You really can. I am rarely lonesome. Rarely. I got people and I got my dogs. And they good company.
Well, Marilyn, I would like to first say, my condolences to the passing of that brother. Sound like you guys had a real connection.
We did. We did. We really did. And I gave no reason for his sister not to like me, and so and therefore, I'm the type of person, and I've grown since then, of course, but I'm the type of person that, hey, you don't like me, well, get on, don't come around me. I
Right.
lived I lived all these years without, your permission to exist. So go about your business. I'm that kind of person. And see, I don't know. I just may be weird because a lot of people will say, well, you can't turn your feelers on and off. And basically, I would say that is true. But guys, I'm telling you, I can. I can turn them off.
Well,
And I don't know.
yesterday,
Go ahead, go ahead.
yesterday, I apologize for giving you the impression that one SP and I meant all sisters, all black women, because we know that's not the case.
Right.
We were just speaking from our experiences, from the ones that we've dealt with. And I was speaking specifically about the ones I've dealt with recently. And the ones that I've dealt with recently, they seem to want to be disrespected. Um, it's as if you disrespect them, that means you care about them. But if you treat them right and all that, they have the habit of running over a guy that treats them well. They think he's a pushover, that he's soft, so they will they don't see him as a real man. Now we come from different generations. Well, you and I come from the same generation, but these women today, like these women today, that's how they see the role of a man. If he's not mistreating her, if he's not dogging her out, cheating on her, slapping her around or whatever, then they don't see that man as caring about them. If he doesn't cuss her out, I'm calling her all times of the day, what's asking where she's at, and you better not be out doing this and that. If they don't do that, these women today, they don't believe that the men care about them. As weird as that is, and
But
I've run into some of that.
and I know what you're saying, and I know there are women like that. And like I said, I don't surround myself with people like that, period. But you know what? See, that can be avoided in a lot of instances because people jump too quick into relationships. And you know what I think personally, and a lot of people may not agree with me, but for me, I believe it wholeheartedly. People have sex too soon, and sex complicates things. No, And plus when you have sex with someone, people don't realize you have created a soul tie. You guys are connected, and it's hard to disconnect a soul tie. And so I believe that you got to really, really, really take your time and learn someone and see what that person's background. How did she grow up? Did she grow up without a father or mother in the home? Did she have relationships where she was abused? Did you got, or he, you have to know who you dealing with, because
Marilyn, see, that's the generation that you and I came from. This
uh-huh,
generation now, just like the young lady in the chat says, she doesn't want to be in a relationship. She wants to remain single. Well, if women are remaining single now, all they want from a guy would probably be either money or sex. They're not looking to build a relationship. They're not looking to get to know the guy. They're not looking to try to build a future with the guy. They're not looking to try to, build a family or wealth as a
yeah,
family or anything like that. It's just about, I'm staying single, so I'm going to have all the sex I want, and that's just that. I don't care about getting to know this guy. And unfortunately, sometimes that leads into a pregnancy, and
yeah,
then you're really stuck.
yeah,
But that's the attitude of the women today. And our time coming up, we got to sit around in court and talk and get to learn each other and find out if we're compatible. But in today's society, it's flipped. It's no longer like that.
then anyone who are running into these type of people, running into, you're talking about women, so we'll leave it on that part. If you're running into those kind of women, then guys, I suggest you stay single until you run into a woman that is not like what DOD just described. Because see, I don't have time for the okey doke. I don't have time for no nonsense with no relationships that you run into you're running to a man, no matter how you've met him, whether and I used to go to karaoke a lot. And so the people that I met was, from the karaoke, we singing and having, being silly and having fun. And so it used to be that I was dating younger guys, and then that was just, all out of order. And so I said, well, you know what? I'll date guys my age and older.
Hmm. Right.
DOD, they just got older. They ain't no more mature than the ones, they
Well, see,
just got, they just got, and so I don't fool with them. I'm not gonna go through whatever trips they want to send me through, because a lot of them just want to have sex with you anyway. They ain't about nothing. And you think as a guy get older, okay, there's more to life than sex, believe it or not, guys. There's more to life than sex. But that's where their little minds was going. So it's like, I'm not going on that trip with you. I shall stay single,
but
because
see,
they
Marilyn,
want to.
that's why. Right. See, that's why I didn't mention men in this situation, because men, and I'm a man, of course. Um, we've always been out there looking for sex, 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 sex. The thing that's flipped is that the women are now looking for just sex, 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 sex. They don't care about relationships anymore. That's what's changed now. Back,
And I
from
I,
growing
I
up,
can agree with that. Yeah,
and
I can.
so that's why I'm bringing up the women as much as I do. They've changed. They've flipped the script. I think if more women were to, like you said, try to get to know a guy more, the guys would have to adjust to that as well, because they just can't have sex with a woman if she's not willing to do that. But nowadays, women are willing to just have sex with you, even if they don't see you again. They're cool with that these days.
But I think it is something that a lot of people that's going on right now that a lot of people don't want to take a hard look at, DOD. And all you guys out there, it's something going on. And let me just put it this way, because I don't want to shove nothing down nobody's throat, but I'm at the same time I want to be real on what I truly think is going on. To me, it is more spiritual than what people are given explanation for. Um, in the negative spiritual world, I'm trying to not be preachy. Um, Satan hates family. Satan hates relationships. So what does he do? He attacks relationship. And for men and women out there that have low self-esteem and just are needy people, and SP was hitting on a point where you break and they just turn stalkerish, and all this stuff. Um, Me myself, I believe that is an attack on the family and relationships, and until people recognize that's what it is and try to overcome that and do what they need to do, overcome that and realize what the source is. Then when they realize what the source is, I think they can do better. When you see, nobody had to tell me that I am somebody. Nobody had to tell me, because my mom and daddy told me I was somebody. And my daddy made sure that I knew that when a man stepped to me, he didn't say it in these terms, but when a man stepped to me, he got to come correct. I learned that from my dad. See, guys, a lot of people don't have that, where they learned it, certain things from their mom and certain things from their dad. And then don't factor in, hey, Purple, how you doing? And don't factor in drugs or too much, or alcoholism. And then you throw some sex in there. And then people wonder why things are all topsy-turvy and messed up, because you're dealing with people with issues that have not addressed those issues, and then you put alcohol in it, and then you put drugs in it, and then you put sex in it, and you guys haven't, and people haven't taken the time to really dig and see who they dealing with. That's why things are that, in my opinion, that's why relationships are going to the dogs now, because just people just rush into things. They just for self set of instant gratification. They don't want to take the time to learn somebody. They want to they want to get an orgasm before they even know, because they didn't ain't had nobody a long time. They just trying to get off. And so before you start indulging in certain activities with somebody else, you better know who you dealing with. Like I said, soul ties are real. Don't connect yourself to someone spiritually that you don't know, and especially you find out later that they the biggest devil you ever gonna meet. but you already then had sex with them and got physical with them, and then you find out later, the real deal, who they really are. So
Well, see, so that's why I see again, we come from a different generation. Just like I see Angie here, she says she's old school. She's 50 plus. I'm
yeah,
50 plus.
yeah,
So I'm not sure how old Brian is, but even he agreed. So he was raised to treat women the same way he would want to be treated, or the way a man should treat his mother. So I'm not, like I said, I'm not sure how old Brian is, but obviously, him and we have the same mindset.
yeah,
I was raised with a mother and a father, and I know that, like I said, I just like to sleep at night, and so I'm not gonna put my hands on my woman. You have to worry about going to sleep. You know what I'm
exactly.
saying? That's the way I think about it. I like sleeping, with some comfort, without having to worry about anything going on. But like I said, it's a different generation. It's a different time. It's a different mindset. And today, a lot of these youngsters, it's just all about self gratification and money. That's all it's about these days. Now, if that had anything to do with, two-parent households, I'm quite sure it probably did. But that's where we're at these days.
DOD, I about about 5 years ago, I met this guy, and he's older than me, you, everybody up in here probably. So you think, okay, he's an older guy. He's retired now. He had a great job, so he got his pension together, whatever. So he's comfortable, He not looking for me to take care of him and whatever. Because let me tell you, DOD, a lot of guys that's my age and older that didn't plan wisely. Oh, they looking for somebody to take care of them. Now these are older guys, older than us,
Right.
that all they have going for themselves is one income and is barely taken. So their objective is to find someone that they can sit up off of, somebody who already got a woman that got their house, that did her planning, her financial planning. She did that right, whatever. So they so busy looking for that. So this particular guy, I knew that wasn't the deal with him. In fact, he was very generous. It was unheard of. You know, if I wanted to buy dessert, when we went to dinner. So in that part, I didn't have nothing to worry about. Oh my gosh. He was the biggest freak. I'm not kidding. The things that he said to me that I cannot unhear. It's like I would like to take that information out of that part of my brain and throw it in the trash. Because I mean, let me just put it this way. R. Kelly ain't got nothing on him.
Uh-oh.
I mean, he was freakier than R. Kelly, to the point that, in my opinion, it was demonic. And he had said things about, oh, he met this lady, she was a witch, and he had surveillance cameras, and he kept trying to make me see it on his phone of this so-called ghost, some freaky stuff. He was just all out there. And I had to
Yeah.
tell him it wasn't her, honey. He talking about she brought the ghost, the spirits with her. I told him it's not her, honey. It's you. You brought the nasty, dirty, ugly, funky spirits in your house. It wasn't her. And it's like, and that's just one thing. Okay, financially, I would have been okay with him. He was attentive. He showed all the good points. And then, we had a lot of conversations because we lived about a couple of hours away. So we had a lot of phone conversations. And so sometimes people think that they really know you, so they let a little bit out at a time about themselves. And that's why I think it's so important to take your time to know somebody, because it is no way I could have been with him. I mean, it was so vulgar. I can't even tell you guys what he told me. My channel might get shut down. I'm telling you. So, but I took the time to get to know what he was about, because it's not all about the money, and it's not all about how on the surface they treat you. Okay, what's deep down? What kind of demons he got? And I'm telling you guys, I felt like, you know, after that little episode was over, because why he would say stuff, it's like, I want to say, hold on just a second and go take a shower. That's how I felt. Like I want to clean myself off, and we were on the phone. And so I start making excuses, and then finally I just told him, I can't deal with you because you nasty. I just came, I just came right out. Let me be real with this man. I told him, you got a lot of good qualities, this, and this. I said, but bottom line, you nasty. And I can't deal. He said, well, you're not the only one that told me that. Somebody else told me that. I said, nah, that's confirmation. You nasty. And I said, you might find you a nasty woman out there. I suggest you go do that. I'm paraphrasing. I suggest you go do that, because I'm not it.
Well,
My
see, Marilyn, yeah, you hit on a
so
couple of points. I'm sorry. Go
uh
ahead. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
no,
I'm
no,
sorry.
no,
Go
go
ahead.
ahead. No, I was
No, I was
just
gonna say
saying that I had to. Some women probably would like that. I don't.
yes,
I
and
don't.
that's what I'm gonna say because you hit on a couple of points. First, the guys, the men that are our age or older now, that are sitting around living off other women, they've been doing that all their lives.
Right.
So, and then the brother that you mentioned, I'm sure like he was that all of his life as well. But like you said, a lot of women like that. A lot of
Hmm.
women like the freakiness like that. Because we're not all perfect. So that was his flaw. But for some women, that's not a flaw. He was financially secure. He got everything he needs is taken care of. And then the sex part, the freaky part, a lot of women like that. So they would have been perfect for him, or he would have been perfect for them.
Hmm. I
So
but
I mean, it
some
just depends
things,
on what you like.
yeah, but some things. Okay, there's freakiness, but I'm telling you.
Well, see, you didn't elaborate on what the freaky was. So I mean, freaky to me may be something different to him and something different to you. You know what I'm saying? So, and since you didn't, really go into some of the things that he was telling you, I don't, hey,
I don't.
whatever it was, it scared you enough. It
It
scared
turned
you enough
me.
to, yeah,
It turned me totally off,
yeah.
because I just don't treat my body a certain way, and I'm not gonna let somebody else treat it a certain way. You are now. I can say this: you're not gonna pee on me, and I'm not gonna
Okay,
pee
yeah,
on you.
no, right, no, I don't, yeah, no, not at
See,
all.
and that was mild. That was mild. I figured, okay, I can tell you that, tell y'all this part, but that was that was mild. It's like
Yeah,
that ain't nothing compared to what he was telling me. I was like, oh my gosh, my ears hurt. And so it's like, what if I would have fell for that?
But let
What
me
if
ask you
I
this
would have
question.
fell for that and just did things just to keep a man, just to have a man? Uh-uh. Mm-mm.
But could you have voiced your opinion, letting them know that that's something you do not like, and still have been with them? In other words, everything that you didn't like that he brought up, could you have told him, "Hey, I don't like that. We can be in a relationship, but I don't want those things done to me." Would you have
No,
trusted him
he
enough?
was he was too deep into it. He was too deep
So,
into it.
so you think he probably went he probably went somewhere else to got that taken care
Oh, sure.
of. Okay,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah, yeah. Yeah, if we, I could have been the woman that he'd take out the fancy places to dinner, elegant places, and even some down-hole soul food, and just be out in public with. But he would have somebody on the side. Of the freak of the week
yeah.
would have been on the side. So no, he was he was too deep into it. Hey, Zero, how you doing? How you doing? Thanks for coming in.
Hey, peace, zero.
I don't know who's all in here. I might have scared some people away.
Yeah. So,
Oh,
but we're having a good conversation. This is, like you said, this is conversations that are needed or needed
yeah,
to be had.
we need to. And like I was saying, the reason why, like I said yesterday, I felt you guys was tripping is because I just felt it was too much of a broad statement. And that, yeah, we know those kind of women exist. We know what kind of men exist. But don't deal with them. Get to know them first. And and if you feel like you got a stalker on your hands, you should have found that out long before you broke up.
Yeah, yeah. Now,
You should
now,
know that.
knock on wood, I never had any stalkers like that, where they just camp out on the front door and all that stuff and slashing tires, nothing like that. I'm glad I didn't experience anything like that.
Yeah, because if somebody, it's like you didn't pay. I'm saying you, but not you. You didn't pay this, attention to the red flags, to the signs. Cause you should have seen if you hooked up with somebody that liked to bleach your clothes and burn them and set everything on fire, slash your tires. You should have seen that part of that person long. You didn't have your eyes open.
Yeah,
You didn't have your,
I
see that
agree with
person.
you.
Yeah, you didn't have your eyes open. Hey, Nadia, how you doing? You know Nadia, DOD?
Sincerely yours. I think I've seen her. I
Yeah,
may know her. I think I've seen her
yeah.
around.
You guys check each other out, Nadia. I don't know who you know, but whoever you don't know on this channel, check them out. Check them out.
But yeah, I'll definitely go check her out. Purple Love as well. I'll definitely go check everyone out.
Yeah, yeah. Check everybody out. But yeah, it's like we should know. Now, I'm not saying we're gonna find out or know everything about somebody, but some people have lived with some people and they have surprises all the time. You heard of people say um, that they suspected their husbands on being on the low.
Right, right. Yeah,
Okay, then that person had suspicions all along, but because they didn't want to be, they didn't want to be alone. They just dealt with it.
yeah.
If you have suspicions that your husband is on the low, I think, or a person you're dealing with, um, I you knew that. You knew that. Don't come later saying, okay, I found out my husband had a boyfriend. You knew he might have been on the down low, but because he was by, but you wanted that man. So, you didn't care at the time, but now that you settled and this happened and that happened, and for whatever reason is uncomfortable for you now. No, you knew that man was that way.
Yeah, if you had suspicions, then yeah, you definitely knew. There was something about him that that gave you that impression. So yeah, you knew what was going on.
You had
Or you
some
should, or
kind
you
of
definitely should have known.
exactly. You had something, you know. You had something in your spirit that told you, uh-huh, we go out together and why he looking at other men. He ain't looking at other men women.
Other
You
women, right?
something didn't happen.
Yep, you're right. You're right.
That you know, live with Emma. Hi, how are you? Welcome to the live. Thank you for coming in.
Now
So
I met her earlier on another live stream.
who live with Emma
Live with
class?
Emma. Yeah,
Okay, okay.
and I already know Zero.
Okay, yeah. Okay. Yeah, so you guys just intermingle with each other and get to know each other. I don't announce it, but hey, this is also a growing channel. So anytime you come on my channel, I've said this a few times, but for the new people, uh, if you want to grow and you guys want to get together and support each other, that's cool. That's cool. Yeah. So I'm trying to think of some other conversations that other things that was said. But you had a really good live yesterday, and I enjoyed it. And even if I tell you, and I think you know this, even if I tell you that I disagree with some things, well, okay, I disagree. So what? We still cool.
Right, of course I know that. Yeah,
Because that would be so boring to agree with everybody. But I just oh, I wish one SP, because see, I got something to say to him.
now I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm gonna be honest with you, Marilyn. The reason why I came over here was to have the conversation, but I thought you were saying we were tripping about um Jesus because he's a believer and I'm not. That's what I thought you were tripping off of.
Who's a believer?
One SP is.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, he's been on my my channel plenty of times. We've had some really good conversations. Oh yeah, I knew that. I knew that.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
see, right, but because I'm not, that's what I thought you were. I thought you were saying that you were tripping because him and I was going back and forth about that, and that we shouldn't have been, going back and forth. That's what I thought you meant.
Oh no. I wasn't even talking about that's between you two.
Yeah,
Yeah, I wasn't talking about that. I was talking about, the statements about women.
right, right. I should have. Yeah, I should
I
have
was
realized.
looking at the relationships. That's oh no.
Yeah, but yeah, like I said, we were speaking from experiences, but I know both men and women do that. You know what I'm saying? But we were just talking from experiences.
Yeah, that's what I
From
was
our
commenting. I didn't know that must have been before I came when you guys was talking about the Lord. That must have been before I came, because I didn't know you
oh, okay.
guys had that conversation.
Yeah, we did. Yeah,
And my thing is, I am not going to ever deny the Lord. And I'm not going to not talk about it. I'm not going to never talk about, I'm saying I won't ever testify to things that have happened to me. I've had all kind of spiritual experiences. But at the same time, guys, is a personal relationship, and if you just don't happen to be a believer, then that's what I can't convert you, and it's not up to me to convert you. I'm only gonna tell of what happens to me and my experiences, and if by what I say touches anybody's heart and they want to, just know more, then I would just encourage them to research, do the research on your own, look up scriptures on your own, and you know, I'm not going to not bring the Lord up, but I'm not going to shove him down your throat and say, DOD, now you know, you better, da da da. You know what I mean?
Right, I understand. Yeah.
But
Now, see,
I tell you what, you can't stop me from praying for you. 'Cause
see, that the Lord came up yesterday in the conversation because I was speaking about the person that I was recently in love with, and that person is a believer. And I was
Mhm.
saying I'm not sure if it was going to work because she may want to go to church, and the pastor's going to know why your boyfriend or your husband, your fiance is not in church with you. All of your girlfriends are going to want to know, the deacons, the choir, everybody going to want to know why your significant other isn't with you. And
Yeah,
so that's how that came up. But I'm like you. I don't. Okay, well, let me. My father's a minister, so I grew up in the church.
yeah,
Um, my mother, when I was 15, she came to me and my brothers and said, "Hey, if you guys don't want to go to church anymore, you don't have to." And
yeah,
so from the age of 15, I didn't go unless it was some type of special occasion, a wedding or a funeral, or not that it's
yeah,
special for a funeral, but you know what I'm saying.
yeah,
And so that's the only thing that got me back in, from I don't go back every Sunday anymore.
yeah,
And I've done research that you as well on the
yeah,
Bible and stuff like that, and that's part of the reason why I don't go back. I don't push my beliefs or non-beliefs on anyone else. I don't down people who believe it.
yeah.
I rarely speak about it, but that's the only reason why it came up yesterday, because I
But
was
you
speaking
know,
I was speaking about a recent relationship where
yeah,
she was, she's into that,
yeah.
and I was saying I'm not sure if that would work because of that.
Now, I'm admit that would be a hard relationship to be in if one person is a believer and the other person is not a believer. And basically, we are supposed to be equally yoked. We are, because I can see what you just said, where people going to be wondering, where's your man? When you in church, or if you want to do this, that, and the other, and the other person will feel uncomfortable because that's not their thing. You know what I'm saying? And so I truly believe that right now people are really digging and researching, and that's good. That's good. But you can't force anyone to have the same beliefs, or if you don't believe. My thing is, I I want I would want someone to make that decision on their own, and I don't have the capability, um, or the power to convert anyone. But I believe that if people will talk the truth and not what they, what I mean, to dig deep and will talk the truth, a lot of people wouldn't be disenchanted. And plus, all this crap on, right? I mean, it's a miracle when people have faith to believe because they don't have a lot of good role models out there. Pastors are messing, that a lot of them are pedophiles. I won't say most, but a lot of them are pedophiles. They stealing money from people. I say over and over again, I'm not buying nobody no mansion. I ain't got one. I'm not buying you one. I'm not buying you no airplane. I don't have no airplane. And you know what I mean? So
Right.
it's almost a miracle when people just stop looking at those type of um, people in the pulpit with their nonsense and just say, you know what, I am not. I know this is going on, and I know that is going on, but I'm gonna search for myself. And then when you get supernatural experiences that then that's what then you could say to yourself, okay, but I gotta stay on track because this person lying over here and that person. So that's how I deal. But as far as relationship, oh, um, a while back I tried that. In fact, he was a atheist, and I didn't find out until you have conversations. But initially, we were attracted to each other, and it's just not. You just should be equally yoked. I'll put it that way because uh, I wouldn't have been able to stay with him long. Um, he
Well, I
didn't have.
know.
I wouldn't have been able.
Yeah. See, I know, like yesterday when we were having that conversation, there were many people in the chat that were saying that their grandparents or their parents, one, and it was usually the woman, would go to church. The father was staying at home, but that they stayed married for 40 and 50 years.
Yeah,
So they were saying in the chat that I mean, they were telling me that it can work. Just each person has to love each other and understand that hey, he's not going to church or she's not going to church. And if you guys have that understanding, you shouldn't worry about what the pastor say or your choir members say or anybody like that. These people know, hey, look, he doesn't go to church or she doesn't go to church, and I'm okay with that. I'm here. I go to church because I believe. And
yeah,
so they were saying that's the reason why those marriages lasted 40 and 50 plus years. And they're speaking, from their own family members, from their mother and father, or from their grandparents, from
yeah,
what they saw growing up. The
yeah,
mother was going to church. The father or the grandfather stayed at home. He said, but they stayed married for all those many years.
my question would be, okay, when they were talking about their grandparents, were when they got together, were they both like, okay, they didn't go to church, and then as their relationship evolved, and maybe they got married, and then maybe they were still like, go to church like certain times, weddings and stuff like that. But then maybe she grew closer to the Lord, and then he kind of stayed, or vice versa, and he kind of stayed where he was.
Well, the way they
And
described it in the room was it was always that way. That he
it was
never
always,
went, but she always went.
hmm,
So they had an understanding right from Jump Street that hey, I don't go to church, and she says, well, I do, and but they decided to get together and make it work, and it lasted all those years.
yeah,
That's the way they described it in the chat now. Uh,
yeah,
that's one thing I can go by. Is what they
yeah,
said.
yeah.
So
I mean, it always helps. when you have things in common. We were always taught, and there is scripture, and I'm not going to start quoting scripture, but let's just say, I mean, it's not, it helps, it works better when you're equally yoked, whether it be one person in religion, the other one is religion, or one person who, I'm trying to think of another without using religion, um, that you have a common ground.
Right.
Let me read what Nadia says. One's salvation and how they get there is for one person to decide and manage. I wouldn't force my husband to go to church with me, and I'm spiritual, not religious. Exactly. I
But
wouldn't.
she also said her grandparents were the same way. And
Yeah,
I'm taking that as one of them went to church and the other one did.
yeah. See, I
And
would make
so,
that decision now. That I would. I mean, I'm not into that. But if I were to get married again, he would have to be on the same belief system as me. Now, if we were married already and I got closer and he didn't want to go to church, oh, like I told, you can't stop me from praying for you, but I'm not going to try to force you either. But initially, this is just me. And plus, there are scriptures that tells you to be equally yoked only because, and I don't think, it's people view it more as a sin type deal, is that you might have a really hard time. You're gonna have a hard time, and it might be things that you're gonna endure that if you were equally yoked, that you wouldn't endure. So I don't think it's looked at, oh, you damned and you going to hell. No, not like that. It's just that you just gonna have some problems down the line, and some people may try to force uh, their mate to convert.
and seeing that's what the conversation we were having yesterday, because I said that me being a non-believer, I don't go to church. I said, but she is. I said, I don't mind. I don't care if she goes to church. If she wants to go to church, fine, go. But I just felt like I said, somewhere down the road, she's gonna start getting pressure from the church to have me go, and I'm not going. And
Yeah,
so that's gonna I felt was gonna run into there's gonna be some problems. Just like you said, it's gonna be some issues down the road with that. And if
yeah,
you're equally yoked, like you said, if they both go or if they both don't go, it probably would be better because you're not being forced to go, or you're not being pressured or embarrassed or shamed to go. You know, but for myself, if she wants to go to church, go ahead. I would never stop anybody from doing what they want to do, believing, what they want to believe in, because you have to be happy within yourself. If going to church makes you a better person, or you feel that you're a better person going to church, then by all means go.
yeah. Because I believe, a lot of people don't believe this, but if you're going to the right place, if you're being taught by the right person, and not out of feelings, um, it being spiritual. One, uh, uh, let's take a woman for example. She's been like this, and this. She's been hard to deal with, or she screams and hollers and this and that. And then when she, even before you met her, she started going to church, and now her whole demeanor has changed. She's soft and she's more loving and what have you. It's supposed to teach you how to treat other people, especially your mate. You know what I'm saying? If you're really
Right.
truly getting what you're supposed to be getting out of scripture, if you really, getting it's supposed to make you a better. spouse, a better partner. But I think, like I said, I don't know what I was doing. I missed that conversation. I was, I was targeting on something else. I was targeting
You
on
may have
something
came
else.
in after that
I
conversation.
might have,
Maybe you
because
saw it
I
coming up.
missed all that. I came in and I did gather that a particular person, I did gather who you were talking about. I got that later on, I got that, but I didn't know all this other stuff was going on. And this is the time, I'm see, to me, it sounds like I'm gonna do like the young people say. Y'all didn't already caught feelings, so it's like y'all didn't caught those feelings. Boom, it was a speedball. You caught them feelings, and and that's hard. That's hard because you're saying I don't mind. Cause see, I'm gonna tell you, a lot of men don't. You ain't going to church. My ex husband was like that. Uh, uh, this a friend of his wife, come on to church, man. I said, okay. So I'll pick you up. Oh, okay, because she wanted me to visit her church. And I'm getting dressed. I'm headed out the door. And he talking about he leaving. No, you can't leave. And the kids is young. You can't go by themselves. They can't be home by themselves. Well, if you go, I'm going. And see, he was a fool. So I know I'm not supposed to call people fool, but he was a fool. And I wasn't going to take that for granted that he wouldn't leave them kids by themselves. And he might have been bluffing, but I just didn't want to take that chance. So a lot of men don't want your woman to go to church. And I think he didn't want to go with wanted me to go with her because I believe she would have told well, he I believe that he believed that she some stuff that he did. I truly it may not even been about church, but he came up with he he made it seem like I don't want you to go to church, and I'm gonna leave these kids here. So I didn't go. Get back up here, Dod. And so you're at the point where you know it sounds like you guys still care about each other. So that's hard. That's hard. Nadia says the church shouldn't be invested in your home to force you to bring a love. Well, no, they shouldn't. No, you shouldn't. And if I was gonna go to a church, Nadia, it's like I don't want nobody in my business. I came there to worship. I came there to be taught, and you won't even know that whether I'm married or not. I got a man, so there. You know what I'm saying? It's like they wouldn't even be able to say, where's your loved one? Where's your husband? Who's whatever? Because they wouldn't even know that much about me. Because I'm a pride, this is the most I've ever been transparent is on this platform, YouTube. Because when I go places, it's like I don't get caught up into, telling what's going on in my home. So you right on that, Nadia. Hey, Miss TR. Where you go, DOD? I bet you lost transmission. Something wrong with your Wi-Fi? Miss TR, how you been doing? How you been doing? Yeah, Nadia. It's like you ain't gonna even know all that. He might have DOD. he might have got off because I told him he had caught feelings. Come on back up here, DOD. I won't say no more. I won't talk about it. But you brought it up. But anyway, guys, I enjoy DOD's okay, since I'm delayed with responding, I'm sorry. I'm pouring a turmeric. Oh, okay. Turmeric's good for you. My pot is hot. Okay. Doing much better. My stomach is better. Oh, good, Miss TR. I'm glad you're feeling better. Yeah, the conversation, we were talking about relationships, and DOD had a live yesterday, and so I had missed a lot of it. And the part that I zoomed in is he had one SP up on the panel with him, and what I had zoomed in on is some statements was being made about some women, you know, uh, if you treat them good, they basically uh, think you less than a man. I guess you have to disrespect them, and then they all up on you type deal. And so uh, the part that he was talking about referring to his relationship, I wasn't privy to that. I had left a mess. I was trying to edit and do some things on my channel, so I didn't have a lot of time to comment. I was just basically listening, and I had said them that they better be glad that I'm busy, because I disagree with a lot of things that was being said, and that they were tripping. So he came over, and I'm glad now, because he wanted to continue the discussion. See, I didn't know all that other stuff was going on. It was a lot going on that I wasn't privy to. He thought that I was um, against him, in a relationship, saying that there might be trouble down the line because he's not a believer and she is a believer. And my thing to that is, like I said, I would be praying. Now, Lord, supposed to be my husband. It don't look like it right now, cause you know. But if he's supposed to be my husband, let me know. Let me know. And I know TR. And see, that's what I was responding to. That's what I was responding to. That no, I don't know who you dealing with, but no, the ladies that I know, disrespect me. Oh no, you not. Treat me like dirt. Oh no, you will not. And that's what my statement was. Y'all tripping. And that's why I was hoping one SP came over, because I wanted to get him on the panel to read him. And it wasn't so much DOD. It was, I wanted one SP, because that's not true. And I was saying that needy people, that could be men or women. Um, if someone just don't know how to even be in a relationship, and then jumping too fast into a relationship. They didn't have examples. Maybe, it was a one parent home, and let's say the mother, she worked all the time, take care of everything. And so that person may not have had a role model to even see what a relationship was all about. So so that's where I was coming from. I didn't know you know, I missed that conversation. Um, yeah, some people that's like have them thinking a certain way, that may have been that one particular person. And what I wanted to say also is, sometimes, I'm not saying this is true about everybody, but sometimes you draw a person depending on what your energy is. Okay. So if, You could draw if you have low self esteem. I could draw somebody with low self esteem, or I could draw somebody that's a bully and just prey on people with low self esteem to cover their low self esteem. So it just depends. Jesus said you to love your wife like God love the church. God is against any type of abuse, regardless of who's doing the. That's right. That's right. He don't condone that, not one bit, not one bit. So yeah, we on the same page with that. But that was the discussion that we had yesterday, and I don't even know why God just hopped off. He didn't even say bye. But yeah, like Nadia was saying earlier, I would never ever try to force my husband into going to church with me. Never. And the thing about it is, for me, for me, I wouldn't, I wouldn't be with a non-believer, you know. But if meeting we were like the same way, you know, neither one of us was spiritual, and as time went on, we had got married, and as time went on, then I got more spiritual and he didn't. Okay, that's another thing. Yeah, it might have failed that, because yeah, that's not like him to just drop off, because he liked this sort of stuff. But I'm just saying, initially, if I was a believer and someone came along and wasn't a believer, me personally, I wouldn't entertain it. But see, because if you do, you're gonna start having feelings about that person. That's not so, that's not an easy thing to just say, okay, I'm done with you. Okay, I'm done with you, and you have feelings with that person. They have that. That's not an easy thing to do, and I don't want to make it seem like I'm taking it lightly. But for me, I wouldn't. In the beginning, we would have to be on the same page, and if I got more experience, and if he got more spiritual and I wasn't, I would hope, that he would be patient with me, and I would hope that he wouldn't want to divorce me because of that, because then if things shift and you marry, you're supposed to try to make it at that point. Okay, yeah, you're unequally yoked, but that you became stronger or he became stronger, and so you're supposed to try to make it work at that point. I'm gonna put the link for the people I know on here, just in case somebody want to hop up. You don't have to. You don't have to, but just in case. Um, I was going to do that before I went off. Allow someone to, if they had anything they wanted to contribute without typing a whole lot of stuff. But you know what, guys? And I might say this for another live. Did you guys, yeah, Marilyn Gill, I agree with you. I experienced an unbeliever cause problems, especially if they don't believe in God. I'm telling you, Miss TR, he was this one guy, he was an atheist. And at that time, I believed in the Lord and this, but I wasn't walking in, I wasn't doing what I was supposed to be doing. I just knew of Jesus, believed in Jesus, you know, the Trinity, I believed all of that. He died for our sins, he rose on the third. I believed all that, but I wasn't living no type of life. And so when we got together, we would just, if we want to go places and do this and that, we went. And then I remember him inviting me to his home. His son was there, and we had a conversation. And that came out at that conversation. And then when that came out, it made me look at other things. Okay, his son was like 20. Good kid. I really liked him. Good kid. And he had like cerebral palsy, but not real bad. Just like, yes, I do. Yeah. And I believe in the Trinity, yes. And he was a good kid. And I did not like the way he treated his son. Wasn't my business, but in a way it was because I always came from a background of child abuse and, and different, I came from that background. So that's like implanted in me. And so I just start watching other things. And to me, he just didn't have the love of God in him. He and it was apparent on how he treated people. And I said to myself, that's his own flesh and blood. And he treat him like that. Now how he gonna treat me? And he, like I said, I was just, looking on the outside. And so I felt like if he treat his son like that in front of me, that's the way he treat. If he got enough nerve to talk to his son the way he talked to him and do that, what is it like when I'm not here? And so I just looked at him and I just shook my head like, oh, you don't have the love of God in you, so that's why you treat people the way you treat people. You don't have the love of God in you, because God gives you that certain kind of love for people. God gives you joy and peace and all that. He had none of it. So, yeah, I at this point I couldn't. I don't want to anyway. But if I was to get married, he would have to be a believer. You know. Um, The next time we come in, guys, I want to talk about this video that I put out and about, um, I don't know if I'm pronouncing his first name right, Kale Jerome, the experience that he had. If he acted like that with his son, how would he treat you? Oh, no, that's right. That's what I thought about. That's what I thought about. I just don't want to be with atheists, bottom line. Bottom line, I don't want to be with an atheist. And even at that point where, I wasn't living, I wasn't obedient to the Lord, I wasn't spiritual. I think I was more religious back then. You know what I'm saying? And as you become more spiritual, you become closer and closer and closer to the Lord. And so, and it makes you, you're a new person. But back then, I would have to admit, I was more religious, but I knew better than to be with a atheist. No matter what I knew better than to be with an atheist. Um, it just would be hard for me to even deal with that. Someone who just don't even, believe that there's a God, like how do you explain your surroundings? How do you explain certain things? When we even talk about science, how do you explain things like that? So, anyway, guys, I appreciate all you guys coming. Thank you, Miss TR and Nadia. Kylie was here. Thanks, DOD. You got some splaining to do, DOD. If it wasn't wrong, something wrong with your phone, you got some splaining to do. And so I'm going to. Oh, and who else was here? Let me just call out everybody. Um, I gotta click. Life with Emma class. I think that was the first time she was in my live. Thank you, Life with Emma class, for coming over. And let's see, Zero was here, and Purple was here, and Gigi was here. Brian Butler was here, and of course, Kyrie. And I was looking forward to her telling me about her adventures in Costa Rica, guys. But the pandemic stopped her. I thought she had went and came back and had all this footage, but the quarantine stopped her. So maybe next time. Miss Tiara said, "Yes, God is being religious, but that's not. It's spiritual." That's right, and it's a personal experience, and that's why we can't convert anyone. The Holy Spirit has to convert them because we don't have that power, and it is personal. And for when a person converts, they will understand. When we say it's personal, they'll understand it. There right now they don't understand it, but when they had a relationship, they'll understand it. So bye, you guys. Thank you for joining me. I done named everybody. Oh, you're welcome. I got a good subject next time, and I'll hold it because I want to make sure if you're not here when I talk about it, Miss Tia and Nadia, if you guys aren't here, I'll hold it because I want to discuss this with you guys. So bye for now, and thank you for coming. Have a good night, everybody. Stay safe.